Welcome to the Shakaama Live Show with your host, Shakaama. You all seem to enjoy my other story time, so I'll do another story time. But this is a little bit different. I'm having a hard time being poor, being broke. Where I lived before, I said that I had a roommate, and I said, we're poor. And he said, no, we're not poor, we're just broke. And that is the attitude mainly of a lot of poor people, that they're just on the verge of winning the lottery or something like that. And they kind of live their life like that. I'm having a hard time because I grew up rich and I actually was doing well for myself until YouTube snatched the rug out from all of us. For me, the snatching of the rug was a bit too early because what they did was completely change the YouTube robot so that before I could literally put something on and I would get thousands of views. No more. And I could get thousands of views simply because of my name rank in YouTube. This channel is much more important than a lot of you all who are subscribed to me understand. And it's only other YouTubers who understand and go, wow, you have a big channel. Well, let me tell you. So I grew up rich, and I'm used to living like a rich person, which was terrible when I moved here. I had taken out a loan. I had taken out an equity loan to potentially invest in housing. It was actually to build up my credit so that I could then get into more real estate and what have you. As a YouTuber, I really cannot prove income other than to show payments, but my bank said that that wasn't enough. And while my credit was okay there, it wasn't good. And I got my credit all the way up to 800 and something. Quite a few of you have no idea how to get your credit score up to perfect or near perfect. Well, I did it in a matter of months. But I was attacked. I got my identity stolen. What happened? Okay, so I moved out of that house and I moved into here. Well, I was a little bit sad. So I decided I wasn't going to buy a house. So then I took the money that I had taken out a loan for, and I went on restaurant tours all over Vegas. I shopped every day. I ate out every day. I bought double and triple and quadruple the same thing. The guy that was in my videos before, the skinny black guy, I bought everything for him, although he was my roommate. And there wasn't ever really a agreed upon amount that he was supposed to pay me, so I took money here and there from him as he got it or as it came. And his family were a complete disaster because they were stealing from him. And the more I tried to help out the guy, the more he resisted. And so finally I got rid of him. So then I was doing everything on my own. I got the best of everything that I could put into this hovel, this shack that I'm living in. I had the top of the line internet. I had everything, right? And what I had intended the money for was to reinvest into the business so that I could create better videos. I could do more stuff with my channel, and I never did that. I didn't spend it on a better computer. I didn't do any of that stuff. I spent it not keeping in mind that you have to have income to have outgo, right? So I was still living as if I was making $6,000 a month when I wasn't, but only having a 4, then 3, 2, 1 budget, income, right? And I was just watching this show, Rich House, Poor House, and I was realizing that that's what I was doing, that I was being the rich house, but in a poor situation. My neighbors explained to me that now I'm poor, that I need to learn how to live like a poor person. I need to budget, 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 budget. The one lady I go shopping with, strict budget. She breaks out her phone calculator, the whole nine yards, right? She said, "This is how you do it." I've never budgeted. When I go shopping, I just put stuff in the cart. I've had situations where I've been embarrassed. Uh, I guess I don't get embarrassed because I don't really know. Other people get embarrassed because they think people are going to look down on them. Well, I'm spending $100. They're spending five. I don't care what they think, right? Now, so one of the things that they said in the show, the Rich House, Poor House show, they kept saying, I've watched a few of them now, that when you're poor, there's a lot more stress. When you're poor, there's stress over paying the bills. I never had to worry about it. When I first moved in, I didn't worry about it. I had everything on auto pay, everything. Then when the people started stealing money out of my accounts, then the entire world sort of shattered around me. What's funny is I tried to mention this to you all, and I said all of those places, all of those places actually called me, emailed me, and they said stuff like, "Are you okay? Is everything all right? Hey, Merry Christmas, is everything okay? Happy New Year, is everything okay?" And I said, huh. And then I looked at my stuff and I got a notice that said, uh, your phone might be shut off, something like that. So I called them and they said, oh, no, 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 not you. You're different. I said, why am I different? I said, because you have been on auto pay for 2, 3 years. In fact, your history with us is stellar. You don't get shut off. Other people get shut off. People who are constantly delinquent and so forth and so on, and they got fees and top of fees and so. And I've noticed that being poor, there's a lot of that. There's a lot of fees on top of fees on top of fees, so that the person never gets out of that hole. I'm not saying this is on purpose, but I'm saying this is very different. When you have good credit, a whole bunch of other opportunities are open to you. A whole bunch of them. And if your credit is good enough, they'll actually call you up and say, hey, can I offer you this fantastic deal? And I'm not being sarcastic, it's a fantastic deal. You get offered it because you have excellent credit. Oh, no, 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 no. That credit card, that's the people for people with bad credit. Here, we've got this new card for you. There are no fees on that card. Pay it off every month. And when you have the money, you can pay it off every month. Then all it is it's just an expense account. You expense everything out and then pay it off at the month. Now, how many of you can say that you can do that? A lot of people can't. Most people in the United States cannot do that. That's how I was living when I first moved here. And what I should have done was, and I got cursed out by the landlord here. He said, what are you doing here? Because I showed him my bank account. He said, this area is for poor people. What are you doing here? Well, I was kind of running away, kind of hiding, trying to, go off grid, if you will. But he was saying you shouldn't be here. This is for needy people. You should not be here. And what I should have done is probably buy a house, but with YouTube you can't prove income, so buying a house is a little more difficult and it requires a couple of years of planning, which I had not been doing. I called a couple of lawyers and so forth and so on. Anyway, I could have bought a house. Regardless, I could have bought a house, but I didn't. And now I'm paying the consequence of trying to live as if I was on a Hollywood. What is it? Not Rio de Janeiro. Rio Drive. What is it? What's the Beverly Hills Drive? What's the place? What's the street? I'm acting as if I was on that sort of budget without that sort of income. It's been really hard, and I can appreciate now, but I still don't know the value of a dollar. I still go out and buy stainless steel soup ladles. I mean, I'm understanding now by looking at this rich house, poor house. I'm understanding what I should be doing. A little bit, a little bit. I don't quite have the budget stuff together, but I'm understanding what I'm doing wrong. And knowing is half the battle, right, G.I. Joe? Ah, more, more fireworks. Anyway, I'm understanding poor people, and I understand. I'm peeking around the curtain a little bit, and I understand that poor people want stuff. They want stuff. And one of the things, the rich people had been poor. They grew up poor. And because they worked really hard, they became rich. Now, the woman in one poor house, the woman, and it's always, and I wanted to talk about that, it's always a single mom, single mom. The United States, when they talk about poverty, what they do not talk about is 99.999% of poor children belong to single moms. Women think that they're going to just cash in, you know, they listen to Eddie Murphy and they talk to him talking about I want half Eddie, I want half. Yeah. Well, it doesn't quite work out like that. And I told you the statistic that said within 5 years most divorcees, women are broke, all leading all the way to homeless. Now it takes, of course, them to hustle to get this, and that, and the other. But I just saw that a woman, 3 kids, $700 a month. I don't know about you, but $700 a month is very hard to live on as a single guy. Now, I've heard people say, "Oh, I get $1,000, I get 1,200, I get 14, I get $1,500 a month." Well, that might sound like a lot to you, but when you start Xing out all of that rent, light bills, and what have you, it's not that much. And I'm talking about, I live in a city that's kind of lower lifestyle. It doesn't cost, the cost of living isn't that great. It's not a shack that cost $1,000,000. And one of the poor women said, every time I get ready to pay off some loan here, I gotta go buy something else. Take out a loan for something else, pawn something else. It's an endless cycle. And it's single mom, single mom, single mom. And then they talk about, well, it's all the man's fault. He didn't pay. Well, the child support stuff, all that stuff is the man is supposed to pay half. And what a lot of these women are doing is throwing the child support away on nails and hair and makeup and spa and Gucci and this. And the child is walking around in diapers, and he's 6 years old, can't talk. I've seen that in this neighborhood, and these people are of the white persuasion. Can't talk, can't speak English. 6 years old, in diapers. What? And I keep saying, oh, you gotta praise these single moms. No, the largest percentage of poor children in the United States of America belong to single moms. Hands down. There is no other factor that even factors in almost for child poverty in the United States than single motherhood. Notice single fathers aren't on that list. Single fathers do very well. Single fathers do almost as well as couples. Single plus father motivates a man to go the extra mile. Man plus child motivates the man to go the extra mile. Period. If he has a woman with him and she brings in an extra income, that's icing on the cake. The psychology of the man plus child is that the man steps up his game and goes the extra mile. And that goes for single fathers too. Single fathers are not poor. Their children are not poor in poverty at all. Isn't that amazing? And that's not society doing that. That's men doing that of their own accord. I feel like I'm, doing my my internet dad routine. And let me tell you something. Anyway, for all of you people who say you're broke, I'm not gonna be broke forever. I do things, and I do ask for funding. Patreon.com/Shakaama, and I say I want to do this, I want to do this. It all requires funding. Now, you don't see any benefit to you, but a lot of you people don't understand. The benefit is that I am still here. That's the benefit. Do you know I made a video that said, bye, see you, this is it, this is the end. And just as I was processing that video, something else fell in my lap. Something else fell in my lap to help me continue going. If you lose me, you're not going to have. I've looked at the other people and the way that they talk and the stuff that they talk about. While it sounds nice, it isn't exactly in the vein that I talk about. I'm always going to bring you back to the finance, the money of the situation. Anyway, I'm broke. I'm not really broke, but I'm broke. For me, I'm broke, right? I don't have $20,000 in the. I used to say if I got less than $20,000 in the bank, there's something wrong with me, and I would get depressed, and I'd get sad, and I'd get angry, and I'd be an unhappy camper. I'd need a Snickers bar, the whole 9 yards, all that stuff. I have revised the $20,000. How many of you have $20,000, $50,000 in the bank? Leave a comment below. Tell me.